even though it doesn't work?
Yup, we turtles are built for racing. You can see for yourself we got an airflow chassis. Yes, sirree pop, an airflow chassis. Now take rabbits. They're built all wrong for racing. Those ridiculous ears. Wind resistant.
Turn the key back into accessory position so you can push that button in, and that button goes on the bottom here, right up there somewhere. So I should just bada bing bada boom, there we go, and it's in, and then this ring goes around that. So I will get that back together and then we'll try and fire it up. Sorry for the shaky camera. The key goes right in here. It may not be in the right position. Hang on.
Look, folks, modern design. Woohoo!
The ignition switch goes right in there with a T20, and to get that in, I had to take this out because the tilt steering was in the way. I pulled on the tilt steering and it's plastic and it just snapped right off. Piece of crap. So that's where that's at. Anyways, there's two screws to hold this in, one there. They're both T20. And then there's a couple plug-ins, and then you got to put the key back in. I'll load the key on the other side in a second. While I'm in there, see all this kind of crap here? That should be cleaned up too. It's not helping anything. And in there, it's hard to focus. There we go. All this kind of crap in there. So I'm just gonna take some compressed air and blow everything out before I hook it back up. There's the ring right there to sense the key. So, and I need to get a muffler put on here. It's got no back pressure, which isn't helping it start up either on cold starts. And plus it's really annoying. This is a 2008 Ford F-250 I was working on. Having troubles with it starting, fuel pressure issues, as well as it sticking. Now I've tested it with the key, and I tested the ignition here, the ignition switch, and it's the ignition switch that seems to be sticking. So I've got a new ignition switch. I tested it. It's got the anti-theft on it. So I put the ring on the key and I turned it over right here with a screwdriver, and that's where it was sticking on. So I've got a new ignition switch here, and I'm gonna switch that over and then we'll try it out and see how that works. Here it is right here. Part number CS 909. It was like 80 bucks or something.
Yup, that's the title, all right.
Hooray for the rabbit! Hooray!
I told you rabbits aren't very bright.
Alrighty. My trip to the auto wrecker this weekend. I went and grabbed a muffler. I'm trying to put a muffler on this F-250 Super Duty project. First thing I did was cut the mounts off because they were kind of in the way. I got about 32 inches of room to work with. And I got right there to right there. So I'm gonna line this up and see what happens with this and see if I can make this work or if it was a waste of time and money. Okay. I noticed this, the brake master cylinder right there. It looks fairly new. and I noticed some writing on here that looks like it's from an auto wrecker. The brake pedal went right to the floor. So I bled the brakes, all four wheels. I noticed that whoever did the brakes, the hardware's all in wrong and some of them are falling out. So I'm probably going to get new hardware to redo that because brakes are fairly important. I'm going to put some never sees on the nuts, on these nuts. So I think tomorrow it's ready for a test drive. I can test all the fluids, put the tires back on, and take it for a test drive and see how the Ford F-250 goes. It looks like it might have been a fleet vehicle, so it's not in too bad a shape, but it's pretty rough still. Just it hasn't been maintained at all, really. All the little things and stuff like that has been backed into and rusted, and I think it'd be nice to do some bed liner on the lower part there and all the way up there, and maybe respray the box and it would look really nice. Let's see, this side's not too bad. Yeah, if I did the lower part with the bed liner like I usually do and redid the box, it would be a decent truck. And a good detail on the inside.
What you looking for?
Don't tell me, no, don't tell me.
Okay, it's doing putting a muffler on this that I got from the auto wrecker yesterday. And I was just setting up my welder and I grabbed a couple pieces of scrap exhaust pipe that I cut off this already. And I tried it on here just to see how strong it is and just to set up the welder properly and just make sure I'm getting a good enough penetration to hold this muffler on, which is pretty heavy. So I've got it all set up and I got a muffler welded on. You can't see it very good from this side. Let's go to the other side and let's see what's going on. There, got it welded on there. It's even got a heat shield on it still. It's actually in really decent shape. See, there's my welds there, and I got some more welds up here. Whoever did this previous, there's a lot of bandages around on this already. So we're trying not to put too much money in here. Like we don't want to put, the owner doesn't want to put a $1,200 exhaust on it to do it properly, just to make it to work. So I can tune this thing properly without pissing off all the neighbors out here too. So there we go. I'll do a cold start once I get everything cleaned up here and ready to pull out for a test drive. I gotta bleed the brakes because the pedal is going all the way to the floor. I gotta empty the tank. It's over half full, and it's 6 feet long. So there's about 300 pounds trying to drop it down with a jack and just me. So I'm gonna empty it and fill up the Acura. And if you didn't fill up the Cavalier, let's fill up the Cavalier. I'm taking all this gas out of here. It's for us. Here's another good idea. Grab some of your favorite degreaser. Spray it on the top. And give it a little rub. Oh, I see it's got a Napa fuel pump in there already. Uh-oh. Well, somebody's been in here already. Maybe this fuel pump's not working out so good. Maybe it's plugged. See that? Napa. I wonder how old it is. And then we're gonna grab some compressed air and blow it all off. That way, when we take this hunk of poop out of here, more of this dirt doesn't end up inside the tank. There we go! You know what one of my favorite jobs is? Dropping a tank out of an F-350 that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 feet tall, and it's 3/4 full. So it's about the same size as me, except for it's heavier. So now that I got this tank out of here, I'm gonna grab the vacuum this stuff off, clean it, and take this apart and get it ready for when the fuel pump gets here. So I have a sneaky suspicion there's something wrong with the fuel pump. This is fuel rail pressure. Right now is 87. If I try and rev it up, it goes down. It's all over the map. Desired fuel pressure is 275 kPa, which is 39 psi. So when it goes down to 60 or 90, it's running at like 10 psi, which is no good. So I'm gonna check the fuel pump, the fuel filter. If the fuel filter is not plugged, then I'm gonna go with fuel pump is on its way out. This thing's been sitting for a long time and apparently never ran right. So I'm guessing the fuel, it was a fleet truck too. It's got how many kilometers on here? 376,000 kilometers on the clock. So I wouldn't be too far off to say the fuel pump is gone. So let's take the fuel filter out and see what it looks like. Okay, here we go again. Try priming it a couple times. Now it says full tank. Let's give it a minute to settle down and see what's going on. Try wiggling the key back and forth. I just put a new ignition switch in it, so I don't know about that. Seems to have a bit better response. Why it's saying full tank though, I don't know. It's definitely not a full tank in here. No, that's okay, sweetheart. Nola! Now to change this, there's a plug right here. Right there. Get that out of the way, and then this 10 millimeter. Nope, it's not a 10 millimeter. It's called a I think it's an 8. Sorry about the delay, people. Yeah, it's an 8. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Uncle Albert. I'm so sorry, Uncle Albert. Dunk, 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 dunk. Now let's see if this is gonna help our cold starting issue. Let's take this rubber vacuum line off here first. The sensors on Amazon, these ones are $27, but everyone says they're garbage and they don't work. So the one I bought was $85. So let's hope it works. Anyways, we'll see if I've done my homework, and apparently this causes hard starting as well, because the fuel pressure is all over the map, and this is what it has instead of a fuel pressure regulator. It's a fuel pressure sensor. So if this is not working properly, it's gonna not have the right fuel pressure in the, oh yeah, in the, I could see how this might cause an issue. See what it is here? And did you hear the fuel go down? I should have bled the fuel, but of course, because, what's in there? Let's get my flashlight. There's something in there. What is in there? I wonder. There's something in there, but I'm not sure what it is. Now, is that something I need to take out? Or does that stay in there? Let's just assume it stays in there. Let's assume it stays in there. And it looks like an O-ring. Okay, I put some gas on this O-ring here so it slides in nicely. Just dip your finger in here and then wipe it on the O-ring. It evaporates pretty damn quick though. Okay, so that's in. Sorry about the light splashing there, like we're in a discotheque. I'll show you something else I don't like either. Is the whatchamacallit, the fuse box is right here too. And I notice there's no cover on it. And you see how messy this is? And all the crap that's in there. I bet you there's a lot of corrosion on the back of these sending units and fuses, and all these ones is not good. So I'd like to pop this off and have a look at the back, see how much corrosion's there. Okay, let's go back inside and I'll finish hooking this up. And then we'll go back inside and I'll try and start it up again. Okay, cold start. I primed the filter a few times. See the gauge is jumping up 3/4 of a tank. I don't believe there's 3/4 of a tank in there. I think that part of the fuel sending switch is messed up, which in turn tells it how many kilometers left till empty. So it's kind of messing up the sensor there. Okay, here we go. See how it's kind of weird there starting? Check engine light, tire pressure sensor, passenger door is ajar. Okay. Takes a while for the idle to drop down. I think the idle control module's a bit messed up too. But let's let it warm up anyway. Shut her down. Let's try another start. See? Doesn't like to start. That's what I'm trying to fix there. Now, it could be crappy fuel in there too. I did just put in 25 bucks for the fuel. Oh, now we're down to a quarter tank. So, I'm pretty sure the fuel pump's all over the place. There might be an issue with the fuel pump as well. Now, let's change that fuel pressure sensor and see if there's any difference. Today's job is to change fuel pressure sensor. I'm hoping this is going to fix the hard start. If I cycle the fuel pump a bunch of times, it seems to help. So it's either a weak fuel pump or a fuel pressure sensor. There may be a leak. I believe in the Lucas stuff. I mean, if your fuel pump is on its way out, add this to your fuel, and I think it helps with all the seals and O-rings and etc. in the pump. So stick around, and hopefully all these little videos I make it in. Now that sensor I just showed you is right there. Right there. See it? That's it right there. Okay, let's try it out.